All right, what's going on, fellas? Trying to multitask right now. I'm warming up for my second upper session of the week, but I had a video topic that I'm pretty passionate about and actually very excited to make this video. So it's been a little bit since I had a topic that I felt strongly enough about that I'm like, oh, I'm fired up to make this video. I really think this is gonna help people, and today I have one for you. You're gonna have to pardon me being out of breath the whole time, but I'm proving to you that I am in fact a fat man that does cardio. What we're going to talk about today is exercise ordering. So the first thing we're going to look at is an old Weider principle, and that's the idea that whatever is put first within the session is going to receive the highest priority. So Weider was helping out a bunch of bodybuilding guys, providing them with contracts and whatnot, and the principle there was whatever your weakest muscle group is that you're training that day, that gets put first. Similarly, if we're strength training, whatever motion is our highest priority for the day, if getting stronger in a squat is our highest priority, that means it comes first within the session, right? So that's a basic principle of whatever goes first is going to get the most priority. The common exception to this is if someone doesn't do a very good job warming up, they might actually find that they perform best on their second exercise. And that's basically because they were using the first exercise to actually reach getting warmed up, and then they perform the best on the second one. But that aside, generally speaking, that's the first thing you need to understand about how our exercise ordering goes, is whatever we want to improve the most goes first. The other thing that we can play around with as a fun variable in exercise ordering, aside from just moving something earlier to increase its priority, is actually if hypertrophy is our focus, we can invert the workout. So instead of doing a traditional leg work of first squats, second leg press, third leg extensions, you invert that workout and you begin with the leg extensions and go onward. That way we're coming into the squats pre-fatigued. And the big benefit to this is that by coming in pre-fatigued, we can get good work out of less weight. And it is potentially a means of training for hypertrophy that's a little easier on our joints. By regularly using an inverted workout scheme and pre-exhausting our muscles, then we get to enjoy similar benefits from less absolute load, because proximity to failure is probably the real key here. And it can be a way if someone's getting older, or if it's just a purely hypertrophy workout, that they can enjoy those benefits while using a little bit less weight and having to deal with a little bit less maybe CNS repercussions because of that. Maybe it's something that a powerlifter or a strength athlete could utilize in their off season as a way to take some weight off the bar for their squats, for example, but that is one thing we can play around with. And then the other little fun thing that I love to point out to people is, yes, we kind of want to structure our workout. High priority comes first, and then descending priorities with time. Maybe if you're someone who knows that you regularly don't warm up, you can make something that isn't going to interfere with your main motion, your first motion, just to trick yourself into warming up. If you know you never get warmed up for pressing, maybe doing all of your pull downs prior to benching. That way you're actually warmed up by the time you get to bench. If you know you're not going to do a generalized warm up, that can be a good solution. And the other thing that I do like to point out is that sometimes we'll get an ache and a pain on a lift, and all we have to do is fiddle with our exercise ordering. We don't actually have to change how long our workout takes. We don't have to do any fancy rehab, and we don't have to fundamentally take any more resources than we're already doing. We just need to allocate them in a different order. A very common example of this might be someone whose knees hurt when they squat. Let's say they're squatting, excuse me, they're squatting, they do some hack squats, and then they do a superset of leg extensions and ham curls, a pretty traditional leg day. And they find that every time they go to squat, their knees hurt. Well, a lot of people, and a lot of the time, all they have to do is take those working sets of hamstring curls and move them prior to the squat. Maybe you're a little pre-fatigued coming into the squat, but hamstrings are not going to be the real determining factor in your squat anyway, and the fact that that squat becomes pain-free will probably be a net positive. And all we had to do was move something to before the motion that was giving us some issues. Similarly, if someone's elbows hurt while benching, and they're going to end their session with maybe some tricep press downs or with a rope or some hammer curls, again, maybe just moving these working sets prior to the bench press. Yeah, maybe we're a little bit more tired coming in, but the fact that it's going to be pain-free is a wonderful way to not add anything else to your workout and to reduce pain. So this is, anytime I'm coming across a little like back discomfort, that's actually how I initially came across the idea of doing my ab work prior to beginning my main like deadlifts and squats was I found that, hey, every time I do these deadlifts and squats, I feel a little funky in my lower back. It's not terrible. And then towards the end of the session, when I go to do my abs, it starts to feel a little better. Why don't I try doing the abs beforehand? So I did all of my working sets that next deadlift day prior to deadlifting, and I had no discomfort in my lower back at all. The workout remained the same. The ordering was the only thing that changed. And this is something that I do like to tell people, similar to what I'm doing in today's workout, which is I just find that if a behind the neck press is my first press, it feels a little funky on my rotator cuff. Even if it should be the highest priority for the day, I'm gonna make it the second press today because I can make sure that it's completely free of discomfort while achieving all of the same work. So I hope you guys like this video. This was a very fun one for me. And it's something I think about a lot. And I probably have a lot of thoughts that I didn't touch on here that I'll be kicking myself tomorrow. Why did I mention yada, yada, yada? Just another thing to make a future video on. Thank you for watching.